Hello guys and welcome back to the channel of Hanzo Gabriel. Today we're going to talk about Adam and Eve. What happened when they ate the forbidden fruit? Now actually it is a misinterpretation in this world that Adam actually was the one that ate the apple. It's completely and utterly false. Now I know many people actually do believe that, some people don't. Some people actually know the truth to what actually happened. He did eat the apple, but he was not the one who ate the apple originally. It was Eve. And what had happened actually to start us all is that, of course, we have to go to the very beginning of when Adam was created. Because when he was created, he was the first human being, but he was not created through birth. He was created through God's hands and his power. And so we can't necessarily call him the first human being in terms of organic creation or from the invitations of reproductivity. That would, of course, be Cain and Abel, Cain being the first and Abel being the second, since Abel is the younger brother of Cain. Of course, they are both created through Adam and Eve at some certain point in their life. It's not explicitly mentioned, of course, but somewhere down the line. Let's start off with Adam's history real quick. Adam was created on the sixth day of the earth. Whilst this was happening, of course, Eve would also be created somewhere down the line after God realizes that, of course, man is not made to be made alone. Man is not made to be alone, but rather to be surrounded by women. So he made us an entire sanctuary of women. No, but first he started with, of course, one woman, Eve. So when Eve came into birth or into place, you could just say, Adam was originally just alone. And so it was kind of inevitable, because of his organic way of thinking, for him to fall for a woman. It's just, he's not gay, so he's going to fall for a woman. And so he falls for Eve. But this was something that was not really a good thing and not meant to happen, because it would be the curse of humanity. This is not meant to happen. You see, when this happens, the absolute rotting of the world starts to take place. And I'm not joking when I say that. That is the actual truth. Somewhere down the line, that is not explicitly mentioned, of course, Adam eats the forbidden fruit. But it's first Eve that eats the forbidden fruit. Now, before this timeline, because we'll have to be saying that a lot, I guess, God tells Adam to tell his wife to not eat the forbidden fruit, because that's just his job that God has acquainted him to do. Once he tells him to do that, Adam does go out of his way to tell his wife. But his wife does not listen, and instead Serpent whispers some good words and says, in my version, at least,
So you get some of that syrupy syrup if you forbidden fruit. Eat that forbidden fruit. You get some of that syrupy syrup.
and she just couldn't help herself. She just could not help herself, and so she ate the forbidden fruit. Now, the moment she ate the forbidden fruit is when Adam decides to go into the mix, into the forbidden fruit too. It's like, well, if she's gonna suffer, I gotta suffer too. I mean, that's just how it is. And so he eats the forbidden fruit. When this happens, though, the entire world, like a literal MCU meets DCEU, holy shenanigans, like Jesus. And so when this happens, something that was not meant to happen, what happens is that the world starts to become something far more extravagant from what it originally was, because now it's filled with torture, badness, sickness, horribleness, and all of the bad maniacal things that exist in today's world. And this all started because of Eve's little This all would have been prevented if Eve could just keep her fucking hands off a goddamn apple. Please. Why do you gotta do that? Why do you gotta go out of your way to eat an apple? Why can't you just have all of the other fruit that is by the other trees? Why do you gotta have an apple? Why? Why do you need an apple? It's not even just about the apple. There's so much other apples, but there's one apple you just have to have. There's one fucking apple that is literally labeled forbidden fruit, and you fucking have it. What is wrong? Why would you have the one apple that is labeled forbidden fruit? That is fucking seriously. Are you kidding me? Sickness, my guy. Rape, murder, all of it. I'm sorry, I'm getting so mad. We don't even know the Bible's 100% real, right? Now, essentially, after this, we don't get any other mention of Adam or Eve. The only time they come up on us is when they're mentioned through the list of Israel's family members, excuse me, and also from Genesis 1 to 5, which are the parts that I just pretty much labeled out in a nutshell. We also kind of have him living through Cain, and there's a lot more other parts. And there's a lot of parts about Cain too, and of course Abel. And I'll talk about the story of Cain and Abel next, I guess. That's a very interesting story, isn't it? I will never forgive you.
I've died at least 7 times. I rise on the third day every time. Every soul set on fire. My soul set free, sunshine. I own nothing. I own nothing. You own nothing. And now the sun sets on Sierras. The air is my home. The water is my balance. Earth is where I